Hello, and welcome to Crooked House Gaming. Here at Crooked House Gaming, we like to explore the gameplay of simulation games, usually through a series of Let's Plays. In this episode, we will continue to explore the gameplay of Democracy 4. Democracy 4 is a political sim that lets you choose the role of a world leader and govern a country. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, be sure to hit that like button, and if you're new here, welcome. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any future episodes. Democracy 4 is by Positech Games. This game is in early access, so this game is not yet complete, and the gameplay may have bugs. We are presently working on our second year of our second term as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, so let's see what happens. Health is down. Okay, so this is a problem. We were working on pollution, but it seems that it was not helping. The GDP is up, unemployment is up. We were doing something wrong. I should go back to focusing on the Labour League, which is my party. Pollution, we have a serious pollution problem that could lead to health problems. I was working on that, so I don't understand why this is happening. Factory closes. A major employer of our nation has shut one of its car factories, making thousands of citizens redundant. A drop in car usage in our population, as well as poor labor productivity, is being cited as the major cause of the shutdown. This is why the unemployment is up 5%. The trade unionists are unhappy by 12%. Don't worry, trade unionists, we'll figure something out. Tonight's news headlines. I can't thank the government enough. They literally saved my husband's life. I'll vote for the Labour League until the day I die. That's the view of Alice Bennett on tonight's show after she praises the government policy and organ donation for saving her husband after a tragic motor vehicle accident. She's of course one of the many who has the policy to thank for saving their loved ones. Situation is imminent. Our data is showing we have a potentially bad situation, bureaucracy on our hands if we do not act soon. The economic forecast. Good news, the global economy is doing well and is having a positive effect on our GDP. The loyalty of your cabinet ministers can be best described as trustworthy. Effectiveness is generally considered fair. People are indifferent to your government. We estimate getting 60% of the vote in the election, so that is down. Budget report. The budget surplus is £2.13 billion, but this is too small to act as a trigger to raise spending or cut taxes. I'm going to take a look at my policies. State-owned postal service. State-owned and run postal service can make sense because it is a natural monopoly, one where the universal service obligation deliveries to all addresses for the same cost is generally preferred. The postal service is a large creator of employment, so maybe this would help with our employment. Capitalists are not going to be happy. The socialists are. Productivity will be up. State employee membership will be up. Socialists will be up. Unemployment will go down. Let's implement this. I'm going to see how it affects unemployment. Barely. It says it's going to gain us money, but I don't see it. So we'll do it to about medium. We have 6 political capital remaining. Consumption, respiratory disease. Yeah, healthcare demand, productivity. Tobacco awareness campaign. The government has long known the terrible harm of smoking does on its citizens' health, but getting them to kick the habit is harder than it sounds. A trade-off has been made between reducing the impact on the nation's health service versus any tax revenue that smoking brings in. I'll do it all the way to the end. It's gonna cost, but maybe this will help with some of our respiratory illnesses. We have 5 political capital remaining. We should probably work on pollution. I was also thinking of jobs. Bus subsidies would lower unemployment. Traffic congestion and pollution can be reduced by encouraging people to travel by bus instead of car. It can be an expensive option though, and some motorists may resent a transportation system they do not use, even being subsidized. Do it to about 2. We have 3 political capital remaining. Hybrid cars are less damaging to the environment because of the slower speeds. They use electric engines and produce no CO2. They get higher fuel efficiency, thus reducing the demand for oil. The downside is they're expensive, but tax initiatives can encourage more people to buy hybrid models when they get new cars. Thinking about that to reduce pollution. We have 1 political capital remaining. This respiratory disease is blinking at me seriously. Pollution. Yeah, respiratory disease. Environment. Pollution controls. Pollution controls. Restriction on what chemicals and emissions can be released into the atmosphere. Controls reduce pollution and increase health, possibly at the cost of economic competitiveness. We're going to put 1 political capital in this and move it from restrictions and fines to major fines. Maybe this will help our pollution issue. We are at the end of our second term. I'm going to hit this button and we're going to go into our 3rd term of our second year as re-elected Prime Minister. Let's see what happened. Health is down, GDP is up. So what are we trading off? The GDP for people's health? I don't really like this. Our data is showing that we have a potentially bad situation, gig economy on our hands if we do not act soon. Okay, labor laws, we might have to address that. Economic forecast, good news, the global economy is doing well and is having a positive effect on our GDP. Merger, this is an urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. A large internet company has announced plans to buy out one of its main competitors. This merger needs government approval, but if it goes ahead, it will create one of the biggest companies in the country. Allow the merger. There's no good reason to prevent this merger. In an increasingly global market, our companies need to grow if they are to compete successfully. A bigger company will be more efficient and effective in the global marketplace. Block the merger. The whole idea of free market is based on competition. Allow these two firms to merge will reduce both competition and consumer choice, and no doubt lead to redundancies. It's another example of government looking after big business and forgetting the little guy. Small businesses and trade unionists urge you to block this merger. I'm blocking the merger. Self-employed are happy by 8%. The capitalists are not happy by 3%. The trade unionists are happy by 3%. I'm happy that the trade unionists are happy. I am the leader of the Labour League Party. I want those trade unionists happy. Polls report is going down. People are indifferent to your government. We estimate getting 57% of the vote in the election. Our budget has a small surplus of £9.20 billion. This is tiny compared to the overall government spending. I'm going to take a look at my cabinets. Okay, so she, who I should have fired, will get fired now. I like Tim Foster because trade unionists and socialists. Yeah, I'm going to hire Tim Foster because he aligns more to my party. 17, political capital to spend. The introduction of a standard nationwide recharging system for electric cars has led to increased sales of such vehicles. Encouraging the acquisition of electric cars reduces the country's dependence on oil. Environmentalists are happy about every car that does not emit carbon dioxide. Oil demand will go down. Motorists will go up. Electric car transition up. The environment will improve. Environmentalist income. Environmentalist membership. I'm not banning gas-powered cars yet. 2 taxis right there. We have apolitical capital remaining. Reforestation would reduce pollution. Reforestation is a measure to combat CO2. Tree planting is relatively uncontroversial. However, some campaigners suggest that this treating is a symptom, not the cause, and that CO2 should be reduced at the source, not captured afterwards. Well, this would reduce unemployment because people would be planting trees. It would reduce pollution as we would be planting trees that suck the carbon dioxide out of the air. There are 100 million trees planted in a year. I'm going to apply that change. We have 1 political capital remaining. We have uncompetitive economy. Productivity is down because of probably the breathing situation. Unemployment at its simplest. This is a count of the percentage of your population who are gainfully employed, adjusted to admit those citizens who are not actively seeking work for one reason or another. Diplomatic service. I'm going to see if I can bump it up all the way. I'm going to use my last political capital for diplomatic service. This will improve our foreign relations. We are at the end of our 3rd term of our 2nd year as re-elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Let's hit that button and enter our 4th term. See what happens. Health is down. The GDP is down. Poverty is up. We have a situation that's imminent. Our data is showing that we have a potentially bad situation. Environmental protests on our hands if we do not act soon. The environmentalists are not happy. Economic forecast. Great news. There is a global economic boom which is having a noticeable effect on our prosperity. Our GDP is down, probably due to the uncompetitive economy. Polls report the people are indifferent to our government. We estimate getting 68% of the vote in the election. Well, that's up a little bit. Budget report, we have a small budget deficit of £1.8 billion, which you need to address at some stage. This is a breathing problem. So pollution. I'm looking for stuff to help people breathe. Healthcare vouchers, that's what I want. Healthcare vouchers, a measure designed to encourage the growth of private healthcare whilst enabling everyone access to it. Healthcare vouchers are issued by the state to everyone, but then can only be spent in private sector of healthcare. This is a different approach to pure state healthcare because with healthcare vouchers, hospitals are privately run and the medical staff are no longer state employees. I'll do a little bit into this. We got 5 political capital to spend. We're having a pollution issue. Going to work on carbon capture and storage, a variety of engineering solutions capturing carbon dioxide emissions to reduce climate change, from direct air capture to methods involving capturing at the source from existing fossil fuel power stations. We'll raise this to about 2. Apply the changes. We have 3 political capital to spend. Perhaps keep the country tidy campaign. Campaign popular in the media designed to make people feel guilty about littering. No matter how much a fine on littering may be, it only works if people are being seen. But a guilty conscience will work when someone is alone, thus making it far more effective in the long run. I will raise this a little bit. Now apply the change. We have one political capital remaining. We'll do the last bit in electric cars. That'll be our last political capital. We had 0. We are at the end of our 4th term of our 2nd year as re-elected Prime Minister. We focus mostly on the environment. So I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you so much for stopping by our Crooked House. If you like what you saw, be sure to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to follow future episodes of me trying to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. It really helps us out. Have a great week. See you soon.